Welcome back to the Jersey Oddcast, our first episode for the month of December. And guys, I can't wait until we get to the interview with Joe Lizza. I think he's such a fantastic representative for the fire department, and what an interview we have planned.
Should be a lot of fun.
Absolutely agreed. Yeah.
But before we get to all that, let's introduce ourselves. It's the Jersey Oddcast with Gabriel J. Donio, Joseph F. Berenato, and me, Gina Rullo. And let's talk about what happened at the council meeting at the end of November.
All right, we can do that. Council met on November 24th, and it was a blissful 47 minutes long. It's glorious. Of note, during his report, Town Solicitor Michael Malinsky asked for a motion for the mayor to execute an agreement that had been reached with AT&T. Malinsky said that the agreement is for a 25-year lease for their use of the 4th Street water tower, which brings, I believe, a $10,000 upfront payment and is for $3,300 per month or $39,600 per year. Malinsky said that the lease also brings with it a 3% annual increase, which, over the life of the contract, should yield a total of approximately $1.45 million for the town. Council also passed a resolution setting the meeting dates for 2026. Councilman Tom Gribben and Jonathan Oliva and Mayor DiDonato abstained from the vote since they won't be there next year. At the top of the meeting, Disabled American Veterans Auxiliary Commander John Caruso gave a brief presentation reaffirming his commitment to bringing veteran services to Hammonton, and the rest of the meeting was pretty boilerplate. No action items from the engineer's report, no ordinances. There were a few resolutions, like for the Our Lady of Guadalupe procession. There was a liquor license transfer, and there was a resolution adding the 2025 Neighborhood Preservation Program grant money of $125,000, now in its fifth year, to the town's current fund budget. But that was about it. In and out in 47 minutes.
Yeah, I guess it's the first time they've all been together since the election results happened earlier in November. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it's the first council meeting since the election, correct?
And this was the second to last council meeting for Councilman Oliva and Mayor DiDonato, correct?
Yeah, they've got one more in December, and then that's it. A whole new mayor and council.
And what's the date for the council organization meeting?
January 5th, I believe. Give me just one
Uh,
moment, and I
They're
shall
not doing
check.
it on Epiphany?
Give me just a moment, and I will check
Okay,
my
sorry.
handy dandy agenda, which I always have ready because I know you ask additional questions that I don't cover. Doot,
Can't help
doot.
it. Been
Yeah.
doing it for so many years, Joe.
Monday, January 5th, 2026 at 7 p.m. is the organization meeting.
Okay.
And Joe, for those people who don't know, can you give a brief thumbnail definition of the Neighborhood Preservation Program and what it does downtown?
Oh, yeah, the commonly referred to as the NPP grant, Neighborhood Preservation Program, was a grant that we were first awarded in, I believe, 2020. It's through the New Jersey DCA, Division of Consumer Affairs, and it's for municipalities that have been really improving their downtown, and the grant money is to go to continue to improve downtown areas and so forth. We were awarded 5 years or a total of $625,000, and this is now in its fifth year. I don't know if the state is continuing the MPP grant. I don't know if we have to re-up those. That is information that I do not have.
Sure.
But insofar as I know, under the current terms of the grant, this is our last year.
Okay. And the MPP has been around in Hammonton for a long time. I remember when the old aggressive clothing factory was torn down with MPP funds, and that was,
Oh, was it?
yeah, decades ago. But it's good for people to know just what this state program does. It does enhance the downtown area with improvement money, and
And
the town's been receiving this latest grant since 2020.
And for those younger listeners who have no idea where the aggressive clothing factory was, it was on Pleasant Street in between West End and Washington, where they are currently building all of those new homes.
Correct. It's right in
Wow.
that
Fair
area,
enough. Yeah.
and then,
Full
Yes.
circle.
it's come full circle. That building was there for many years vacant.
Mhm.
Joe, you point out rightfully that it was now in an area that's being redeveloped. So it's
Yeah.
interesting to see how long the neighborhood preservation program has been in existence, and that now instead of a vacant factory building and other vacant buildings in that area, you're now getting several $100,000 townhomes being built. So it's just an
Yes.
interesting come full circle, like Gina said, and really and beyond it. It's interesting to see how these things do impact our neighborhoods.
Yeah. At one time, I believe the little historic train station had the MPP program in it, the Main Street program, and the Chamber in there. The first MPP director I remember was Joe Pierce.
That's correct. Joe
And
Pierce from Millville.
Yeah.
for anybody who has been in the chamber office occupied by John Runfellow since I believe they built the train station, with all of the piles of paper that John has in there, he probably has all of the original NPP paperwork as well.
Probably, or yeah, it sits somewhere in there between him and Main Street.
Yeah.
There's a lot of institutional memory in that train station for sure. But downtown's come a long way in during the years, and I just think it's important for people to know the town does go after these grants and does try and do things with them that are positive.
Yeah.
Speaking of downtowns, let's go to Egg Harbor City's downtown where they had a parade the other night for a championship football team. Gabe?
That is correct, Gina. Egg Harbor City is excited by the win by Cedar Creek. Cedar Creek was
Awesome.
number 17, and they beat a number 7 Old Tappan team. They didn't just beat them, they blew them out 34-7 in the NJSI AA Xfinity Group 3 state championship game held Friday afternoon. That was at MetLife Stadium this past Friday. And they played
So
an
cool.
Wow.
So
unbelievably
cool.
successful game. They have not been around for decades and decades, Cedar Creek, but they have an extremely successful history. And
No.
according to published reports, they have 4 sectional titles and a state crown, even though their program only started in 2011.
Wow.
The last bit of
That's
this
unbelievable.
is
Yeah.
Cedar Creek finished the season 12-2, and Old Tappan finished the season 12-1. So this was a big game between two big powerhouse teams, and Cedar Creek
Powerhouses.
came up with the victory.
That's fantastic.
I love that. I'm so excited for them. And then I got to watch some of the parade clips on Facebook. It looked like such a fun night, and those kids were like marching there. You know, how cool that they put all of that together so quickly. It was just a very special time for Egg Harbor City and Cedar Creek. So I love that for them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's extraordinary.
It's brought a lot of pride
Whether
to Egg Harbor City, for sure.
Absolutely. And whether you're looking to live in Hammonton or Egg Harbor City or anywhere in South Jersey and you want to move your home or business, you need to call Phil Carr.
Gina, if you're looking to buy or sell your home or commercial property in South Jersey, call Phil Carr, owner of Crowley and Carr Real Estate. Crowley and Carr is the best place in town to find the best place in town. Call them at 609 561 0505 or go to Facebook or Instagram.
There was some sad news coming out of Vineland with a car accident that happened. Joe?
Yes, according to a release from the Vineland Police Department, on Monday, November 24th at approximately 2:12 p.m., members of the Vineland Police Department responded to the area of North Lincoln Ave and Maple Ave for a 3-vehicle crash with serious injuries. The release said that a blue 2009 Honda Civic operated by Ramona Sanzalone, 87, of Minatola, was traveling southbound on Lincoln Ave when it struck a white 89 Ford pickup truck operated by Diana Rivera, 36, of Vineland, and that truck was carrying an 18-foot transport vehicle trailer. Sanzalone struck the back end of the trailer as it was making a left turn into a driveway. Sanzalone was redirected into oncoming traffic where her vehicle struck a white 2023 Hyundai Santa Fe, which was operated by Evelyn Mazzalotti, 63, of Vineland. According to the release, Sanzalone was airlifted to Cooper, where she later unfortunately succumbed to her injuries. Mazzalotti sustained life-threatening injuries and was taken to Inspira Hospital for further treatment. Rivera had a complaint of pain on scene, but refused medical treatment. Anyone who may have witnessed the crash or who has further information is encouraged to contact Officer Paul Cifuentes of the Vineland Police Department's traffic unit at 856-691-4111, extension 4698, and reference case number 25-56698.
That's just so sad to hear about that so close to the holidays and everything that's going on. It just sounds like a nightmare.
It absolutely does. It just sounds like a tragedy all around.
We're going to take a quick moment break before we welcome Joe Lizza onto the show because we want to thank our sponsor, Marinella Funeral Home.
Marinello Funeral Home has been serving the community since 1962 and has been family owned and operated for 3 generations. Marinello Funeral Home provides individually designed burial, cremation, and pre planned funeral services to meet the needs of each family. Ask them about how pre planning provides true peace of mind to your family. Contact the Marinello Funeral Home, located at 102 North Street in Hammonton, at 609-561-1311.
Welcome back to the Oddcast, and we are so excited to have with us Hamilton Fire Department First Lieutenant and Public Information Officer Joe Lizza. Joe, welcome to the Jersey Oddcast.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
You
Thanks
say
for
that
coming
now.
on, Joe. Yeah.
So I feel like this time of year, the Hamilton Fire Department is really busy, and especially Fire Company Number Two. Can you talk to us a little bit about what's happening and some of the broad views, and then we can go into some of the details?
Sure. Okay, so the holiday season, I think one, it becomes pretty busy. I think just in general, I think our general support for the town Hammonton is very has very robust holiday offerings, whether it's something downtown, different parades, different we have Winterfest down over by the fairgrounds. So we try to be involved in as much as we can. Plus, poor weather also increases typically our call volume, whether it's accidents. And then we also, at this time of year, we also get a lot of heater issues. Folks, it's getting colder. That really kicks up. So our call volume seems to increase with the weather and the season. But we also like to really get into the holiday spirit. So some of the programs that we offer as a Hammonton Fire Department, we have our annual Christmas parade. It is the 27th annual. It should have been the 28th, but COVID came around and we did not hold it for 1 year. And then we also have the Fire Company Two Letters to Santa program. So that is a program that we've been doing for several years, which really was a great community program. I feel like we're one of the originals in the area that have been doing it. So we're really excited about that.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the letters to Santa. How did the company get involved with Santa Claus and the North Pole? Like, how did that all happen?
So it was very interesting. I think I came up with the idea that we should really partner with the North Pole. Let's do this program. I really don't know why. I remember just thinking this would be really fun and exciting. I honestly think I remember bringing my kids to Storybook Land and they had a drop off. And then they would send, I believe, back like a little Santa would send a certificate, I think, and a free popcorn or something like that. And I said, what if we tried something like this closer to this end of town, not have a fee, no fee involved? So one of our
Uh,
past members, or he actually passed away, Bart Gellis.
Bart, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
Bart.
buddy Bart.
What? So he could find anything. He was very resourceful, I think we'll say. And he
Yes.
found, so we brought this up at a meeting, and somehow he found like a week later, he said, oh, one of my friends or a house I stopped by has an old mailbox, regular postal mailbox.
So
And
Okay.
Hamilton.
Yeah,
and
I
then
know
all
a
of a
guy.
sudden, yeah. And then all of a sudden, we got it powdered, we got it coated, cleaned, labeled up. And that's how it started. And we knew that we wanted to do something for the community. What's unique, I think, about it is that it's free. So there's no cost to participate. And you get a response back personalized from Santa. And that's not one that they don't always offer that service at some of the letters to Santas. So some of them there's a fee, and then others it might be a drop off, but not necessarily a return. So we think it's really nice that we offer both.
So I think we're going to talk a little bit about the Christmas season and maybe dive into behind the scenes of Christmas magic. So if parents, you want to take your kids and not have them listen to the podcast right now, that's fine.
Yeah.
How
Don't give
many
it away.
volunteers get involved with the writing and reading and all that?
Yeah, and how did they get deputized as elves?
Oh, it's a very official process. Lots of training. So we have So we have a handful of folks. So it's interesting. The fire department, I think if you ask any, I think if you're part of any organization, you know this. There's folks that are involved in different aspects. You have those individuals that put in the extra amount of times. You have the ones that do more of the minimum. You have ones that may be really active on the fire calls, but some that are on in the background. They may have put some time in, a little older. What can they contribute? So we're fortunate because we do have a nice mix, both fire companies, of folks that do it all. You have a handful that are really active on the fire ground, your younger guys, you have old mid-level guys that have been around in their season because they can mentor the younger guys to make sure they're doing things safe. So with the letters to Santa, it started off just me and it grew very quickly. So in 2018, so our first year, we had 415 letters.
Oh,
So
wow.
a lot. Yep.
No.
That's a
And
lot for the
it
first year.
is. First year, very who knew it was local, a lot of local. How else did really people note about it? And it's grown. So over the last several years, it's been everywhere between 400 all the way up in 2022 to 854.
Wow.
That's a
Wow.
lot of letters.
That's a
I
lot.
Yeah.
don't, yeah, I don't really know. I don't know. So I don't know what happened that year because that's like an anomaly. And then 2024, so last year we had a 543. So we have a handful of folks that have helped all across along the each year. So they'll help opening the letters, sorting them, stuffing them, things like that. And then we also have several community volunteers. So we have a couple of folks in the community, Linda Slim, Mary Young. So those are all names that you know of
For sure.
that help out. We have the elves that you may know, the fire company elves, and then you have those ones that are behind the scenes. We also had this year the Women's Civic Club asked to assist as well.
Oh, okay.
And it's interesting how you do this. So, because there's a lot of steps, and what's funny is things come in waves. So, we open it up really early, but then all of a sudden, nothing's for several weeks. And then they all start coming in, of course, when it gets closer to the holiday season this time of year. So, it is an interesting approach I try to do. We try to make it as seamless as possible in terms of how we produce the letters. The letters are not 100% custom. There are elements that are, and we weave them into the letter. But a lot of it involves some like manual opening the
Yeah.
letters, keeping them sorted, making sure the addresses stay together, and then making sure the letters get mailed out. That part really does take a lot of the time. And I find that it's sometimes folks want to help. Oh, I could sit down and do some stuff right now, or I could give you a couple of hours. And I'm like, the way it works is I stop at the firehouse almost nightly and I'll go and I'll start opening letters, check the mailbox. And then when I have enough of them piled up and opened up, then I hand them off to one of our elves that gets them finished.
And ready for Santa's review.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right. Definitely a process. Do you get any adults sending letters? Like, Dear Santa, please send me a new computer or something?
Yes. So we didn't expect that, which the service was never meant. And I think it's telling to our community, and people are in need and they need help a lot of times. So it was never meant to be like a charitable event. We have many of those in the town. We have events that you can pick up food, you can get there's toys for tots, things like various events and programs. But we not every year, and it's I wouldn't say it's a lot, but it's a handful that have asked for stuff for their kids, or for their families, whether that is food in forms of a Christmas holiday dinner, or saying I'm a grandparent of two my grandkids. They're rough times. The parents are having trouble, and they are just looking for some assistance. The fire company has helped in the past. Some families, we just can't, we're not in a position to be able to fund the greater need, but we have tried to help those that are local with small little things like a gift card here or there for ShopRite. And those are things that our members have contributed to help because we do field for them. And then sometimes we get letters from communities from outside of Hammonton. So we'll get folks from Egg Harbor City, from Mullica, that are asking the same thing. And we then forward those to those fire departments to just say, hey, no pressure,
Yeah.
not required. But if you have interest, here's a family that identified some need. We didn't do any vetting, we don't know anything, but it's just out there.
That's great. Joe, without naming any names or anything like that, any memorable letters that during the years that stick out in your mind, a certain request from a kid or a certain statement or emotion from a kid that in these letters to Santa?
Yeah, we do get several that are very thoughtful in terms of they think of their families. They're written, you could tell a kid wrote them, but they are making sure they cover all the bases in terms of making sure their family are taken care of. We also, I really enjoy the ones which, because I feel like this is, I guess, how I used to do it, but the ones that still print out things and stick them to the list. So they would
Oh, like the Sears catalog we
yeah,
used to do
so
as
it's for like
kids?
the Target catalog or
That's
Amazon,
great.
or they go on the computer and they stick them, and the whole paper is just stickers. There's no writing. It's just here's what I want.
That's great. That's very creative.
It is. No, I think they're really well thought out, but yeah, a lot of, and another thing is funny. One time we did, I think maybe the second year or third year, we had six ABC come, and Vernon Odom, he retired since
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
think we might have done him out. That is, he literally retired, I think 2 weeks after. But he had our members read some of the letters on the air. And we had members, some of the older members, they didn't know what these toys were. Like Squishamallows and all those, but like they're trying to read them and they're like, what is this? It's not a basketball, not a football, like
It's
Donio.
not it's not okay.
What
It's
are
not a
these
Barbie.
toys? So that was always funny. But yeah, I think the letters are just interesting and we do read them. So like that is the part that we go through them because we want to make sure there's nothing that stands out that we need to be aware of when we're doing the reply. Santa also never promises things that are not, it's really never a promise. So I
Right.
think that's something important because we wouldn't want to put a family in a position like that.
Smart.
The kids do really put a lot of time and energy in the letters. Most of them. Some are literally, it's a piece of paper with I want this or I want a computer, iPad. But others add in drawings. Some add in like I actually I think I remember getting a cookie in one of the letters. Imagine that cookie sitting outside like it crumbled. Yeah, and then some do provide. Kids will put in like $1 and say, "Here, Santa, have $1" or something like
Oh
that.
my god.
It's funny,
That's so
like
sweet.
The
like almost
grease in
like
the
a bribe
wheel.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Santa, will this cover it?
I had to think, does Santa Claus wear glasses? And where does he get them? Does he go to Hampton Family Eye Care? What do you think, Gabe?
Gina, I'll bet you St. Nick needs glasses after all these letters. Your eyes tend to blur. So if he needs glasses, he should see Hammonton Family Eye Care for routine and medical eye care for all ages, from glasses to contacts to eye exams and more. Visit Hammonton Family Eye Care at Peachtree Plaza, 80 South Whitehorse Pike in Hammonton. Call 609-567-7479 or go to hammontonfamilyeyecare.com.
Are there any mistakes that people make when dropping off the letters to Santa? Like, I think an obvious one was like, don't include your address, but is there anything else?
So sometimes, so yes, the address is really a big thing because we don't require a stamp. Like sometimes people give us stamps. No, we don't. We cover that. No, it's the address, and it's sometimes really hard because you're trying to like, what do you have to work off of? So we sometimes post on our social media that says, "Hey, we have a Jason who's 4 years old," and things like that to try to get. And sometimes we match up, but I do keep a pile of letters that I don't know what to do with them. And I use everything from public record. I start searching whatever I could find, but you only provide a name of a child and nothing else. It's tough. Sometimes it gets confusing when families put in multiple letters in an envelope and not maybe identify the names of the kids on each one, right?
Mm.
So we've had families, I would say there's families that I've gotten up to 6 different letters requests in an envelope
Oh my.
for 6 kids. So it gets confusing if they don't keep it organized because you don't want, especially when they start they reference brother, older brother, younger brother, and I'm like, oh god, which one?
Yeah.
What is the? This is it's really confusing because who's the oldest and who's the youngest? But no, really making sure that the child's name is on every, and it's most importantly, if the child's name is legible and the address, we can make it work. The letter itself could be in crayon because we don't necessarily have to pull too much info out of that. But really, we want to make sure we also spell the child's name right. That's important to many people who have names that are, there's multiple variations of that spelling. So it comes sometimes stresses us out. Oh, did we spell a name right? Or is that an A or an O at the end? We try to be really mindful of that.
Do the parents get the letters back, or do you hold on to them? Because what if they don't know what their kid asked for?
Yeah, so we have had parents, so that would be an intro. Yeah, we've had parents have reached out to us saying, I never took a never saw it. I don't know. So we have worked with them to get their letters, a copy scanned or emailed to them. So they have them. We do not throw them away. So that's a fun little thing to think about,
Mhm.
because at some point I feel like I want to do something with them, meaning get them back to their families, because we've been doing this for 8 years and or this will be the eighth, and I've kept them all. So we have them
Wow.
in boxes in the firehouse, all sorted by year. I feel like that could be some type of event in the future, maybe at the 10-year anniversary, that someone could come and we could have them out. There's no real science to it, but if they could find but we do attach the envelope with the return address, hopefully, to each letter. So that makes it easier. But you
Right.
could, if your child's been doing it, you might be able to pick up 10 years worth of letters to Santa, which you may feel might be really nice for you to have.
Yeah, that's
That's
a
a
cool
great.
archive.
Yeah, that's a great thing to have, and I think would be a great thing for the 10th to have people come to the firehouse, find your letters. They're all here. That's
Yeah, we
great.
could honestly put them by tables by each year, and then you'd
Yeah.
have to find it. Yep.
Yeah, it's a whole decade of Christmas wishes. That's cool.
Let's talk about the parade. What are the details? How'd you come up with the '80s night? Like,
So
I love the '80s, and we watched the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and like Debbie Gibson's performing. I said to Gabe, "The '80s are back. Just watch out."
For sure.
so yeah. So a couple of years, so there's years ago. So right now, like I said, it's the 27th. There used to be themes each year, and then there was a time that we didn't have a theme. It was just Christmas parades. So those were several years. So a few years ago, we started to try to bring them back and include the town. So we come up with a couple of topic ideas and let the town pick their choices. So I could tell you that the 80s overwhelmingly won this year. That's how we came up with it. And we want it to be fun, something that we don't want it to be too specific that you are limited by what you can do. So honestly, it's just an 80s Christmas. We picture that 80s vibe, whatever that, if they're going off of, we're picturing children's books, movies that are popular from the time,
For sure.
products, it could be anything, whatever you want to go with, or just colors. We know there's a unique colors of the 80s that you can go off of as well. So this parade oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I remember in the 80s when we just had Halloween parades. In the 80s, a bunch of people were really creative. They got these big Glad bags and filled them, and they went as California raisins. You remember the California raisins
Oh, I
commercials?
remember that.
And they walked up and down the street as these California raisins. And I heard it through the grapevine and all that. But I just think when I think 80s parades in Hammonton, I think back then that was the current theme because that was something they pulled right from the commercial. But hey, that would work today. You could bring back the raisins if you want. But I just think there's a lot of great themes from the 80s that could come out of this. I think anything like anything from full on Miami Vice, or there's Max Headroom, He Man, all sorts of different things from the 80s that could come out.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the California Raisins did have a Christmas special.
Oh, there you go. So there you go. It
Yes.
even ties in
Yeah,
with
because
Christmas.
because everybody had a Christmas special in the 80s, even He-Man, I believe.
I
So,
just think it's great because the Hamiltonians tend to be very creative and they tend to be the kind of people who go out there and come up with new things every day. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the parade comes out this year.
yeah.
Yeah, so the parade is on Saturday, December 13th. No, I always tell people that it's the reverse of what other parades are. Typically we go from the railroad tracks down, and this time we go from Liberty down to the railroad tracks and then turn. So it starts at 7 p.m. We invite anyone who would like to participate to pre-register. They can do that by reaching out to us on social media, Facebook, or going to our website. And we just love the participation by both the community and the spectators and the participants that go. I do agree. We have creative folks in the town that will take the theme and figure out what they want to do with it. We don't want to give them too much direction. I think they can go with it and see how much energy they want to put in. But really, what's important is that they participate. We know there's going to be those over the top floats and performances, but at the
Mhm.
same time, if you want to do something simple that is just celebrating the season, celebrating Hammonton, that's fine as well.
That's great.
You know what could be fun is to show up on Bellevue Avenue the night of the parade, and maybe you have a nice snack in your bag because you're feeling a little peckish. Maybe you bring a Bagley Annie's hoagie. I don't know. What do you think, Gabe?
You could definitely go to Bagley Annie's because at Bagley Annie's Market, they always say, we treat our customers like family. With a variety of custom cut meats, farm fresh produce, delicious cheeses, a full deli, and more, Bagley Annie's Market has something for everyone. They are famous for their wide variety of authentic Italian specialty products. Try their Italian bread and rolls, prepared foods, and homemade pasta. Follow their social media for weekly loyalty reward promos. Bagley Annie's Market is located at 417 12th Street in Hammonton. Call 609 561 0693 or visit Facebook and Instagram for more information.
Joe, what goes into planning an event of this size?
Yes, we have a committee. So the committee is really made up of a few folks, including myself and Chief McCree. We are the ones that kind of keep things moving. However, of course, other members help along the way. I would say it starts in that summer time area when we start to try to get the theme. And we do this because there's some groups that really do get organized and plan that early in advance. So
Okay.
that's why we do it. I know there's the whole Christmas in July thing, but it's not really because of that. It's because folks keep knocking down our doors saying we want to know the theme so we can start the float. So it really just takes a lot of coordination with the community. So we actually just held a meeting last week. Yeah, I believe last Monday night to meet with Atlantic Care EMS, the police department representatives, various other individuals in the town to just make sure that everything is organized on that end. We want to make sure it's a safe event. We want to make sure that MES is positioned where they need to go. And then we appreciate the support of our friends in the highway department. Spellcaster Productions helps us out a lot. The Cathedral Event Center in terms of the AV stage setup, things like that. And then we have to do things like the promotion, the trophies, things like that. We try to do in advance. And then of course, Fire Company 2 typically does a float for the parade with our families on it. And then really it comes down to the day of. The day I think that's every event. The day of is when we're just all hands on deck and we start fairly early getting things organized. And then we're out there probably around 2 o'clock, 2:30. I believe we close off the area down there so we can start setting up our sound equipment. And then the other aspect is the registration part, which is also, I think, key to any good parade. So we also have our registration team out there at the middle school. And what we actually did this past year, which has worked really well and will continue and maybe even refine it, is do more of an online check-in when folks get there. We used to use binders and when we have the final list of participants, we would jump on the gator and shoot down from the middle school all the way to the judges stand. And that worked. It was just a pain. So now we do more of Google Docs where we just have these things. And the reason we actually started that was when Nor'easter Nick, they started to do more of the filming, and we used to have play by play of the parade. Yeah, the telecast. He's what's coming up, which float is coming up, and they're taking pictures of the binder, and then they're trying to keep up with things. What we find is that the Google Doc helps us keep things organized. It can be opened up at the judges stand. And what we're going to try to do this year is actually even have someone at the corner as the trucks make the turn re-putting them in accurate order, because what happens is it gets really hard to organize 50 or so different floats and things out there. So what ends up happening is as the floats come down the road, or before they make the turn, they're out of order. And then you have folks like Kevin Friel out there yelling out the numbers to the judges to make sure they know who is this? Is it the Boy Scouts? Is it a fire company? So we try to refine, but also not try to make it more work on ourselves. We try to keep it simple, but make it work.
Okay. Now, I noticed this year, if I read correctly, there's a Grand Marshal again. We haven't had one of those in a number of years. Am I correct?
Yes. We don't always have one. I think it's not that we always need one, but I think it's nice when we have someone that might bring some visibility to the parade. We can honor someone. It really depends on what we're going for. But this year we have Morgan Parrish, which is she's a newscaster from Fox 29, Good Day Philadelphia. So she'll serve in this role. I think it will be great for her to get to be a grand marshal in the parade, but also
Always fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Who wouldn't want to? We did actually arrange to get a Corvette convertible.
Nice.
It's going to be a little cold, but I think that's
Yeah,
It should
fine.
be okay.
You need
but
the
Yeah.
convertible. I think. Isn't
but
that what you?
that's
Yeah,
that's great exposure for the parade too. You get the Fox 29 coverage. That's
yes,
that's
exactly.
that's
And that's what we're hoping. We're hoping. She said, "Can I bring some people?" I'm like, "Yes.
yeah,
Oh, why
sure.
not? Bring stuff then for the parade for Hammonton. It's always great when we can get some publicity. Whatever we get."
I would imagine that the driver of the Corvette has insurance because if you're going to be in a parade, you'll be slow moving. You never know. And when it comes to insurance, we always say call diversified.
Yes, we do, because you should see Diversified Insurance for all your commercial and personal insurance needs. They are a value added firm. They provide unsurpassed service, consult with you to determine your needs, and offer you a choice of insurance plans and programs. They are a value hunter who can find the best combination of coverage, service, and price. Contact them today at 609 567 7771 or visit their website, diversifiedinsuranceofnj.com.
Thanks, Joe. So, what can we expect that's new this year or different or any different rules? I know we don't throw candy or anything like that from the fire trucks. What else can we expect this year?
I think we have it down. Nothing too different. I can tell you that we have about, so we typically have about, I would say about 50 or so participants. We're at 25 pre registered. So that's pretty good. Folks come in, not everyone pre registers. We don't
So
require
true.
it. Yeah. And when I say that, it also depends on, we have a participant could be, we have seen many times that like the Jeep clubs. So a participant might be 30, 40 Jeeps. It keeps the parade moving. No, so I think we just really want to have it fun, high energy. As a reminder to anyone that wants to potentially participate, we give out awards and trophies for best decorated fire apparatus, best decorated non-fire, judges awards, musical performances, all these different categories. Another thing is we give out an award for best decorated downtown business along the parade route. Anything from really anything on the street that's downtown, we will go around and award that plaque. So that's always great. But yeah, we keep things. One key thing is to remember that anyone who's participating, we have Santa covered. No need to bring Santa Claus. We have Santa. We arranged. He likes us because of the letters to Santa. So he's
Right,
always,
exactly.
we help him out. So he's going to be there.
All those dollars pile up when the kids send them
He's coming to collect. Yeah. Yeah, so we want everyone to be safe, enjoyable. We say that no throwing candy. You can hand
in.
out
Right.
candy, of course. We just don't want kids running into the streets. But yeah, I mean, we really are excited. It takes a lot of time and energy, and that's on top of the other things our members are trying to do. And through that, not only for the fire department, your own families. So it's a
Sure.
lot in the holiday season. So
Is
Well,
there an 80s song or music that you feel like sums up the parade this year? Or is there an 80s Christmas song? Like I'm thinking like the only 80s Christmas song that I can think of is Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
Oh, I was
But I
thinking,
don't think that's appropriate for the parade, so I
yeah,
can't think of
and,
what else.
yeah, and
well,
Last
there's
Christmas I don't think is
EMTs.
very appropriate. Yeah.
No, Last Christmas is not a good one. It's like, is there an 80s song that you guys are using as your theme?
So not so we're trying to come up with. We were working on our float, and as I said, we have every year you have different folks that we try to get the younger, not the youngest guys, but the guys that have families, young kids, to get involved in the float building.
For sure.
So I think this year we're actually going to go with kind of a GI Joe theme.
There you go.
Okay.
So
Nice.
and utilizing, we have some equipment that might go along with that theme. We also, it depends on the year, and I feel like I keep bringing up Bart. And what's funny is, I guess we'll say Bart was Jewish. He was Jewish, so he really, but he loved Christmas. So he loved the Christmas parade, but he did a lot with our floats and put a lot of detail in. And over time, like now with him not being around,
Yeah.
we really are trying to get those members that want to step up and help and really work on those because we're pulled in so many different places. We tend now to keep the floats a little bit simpler, at least for the fire company. One, we can't win, so we're not going to win our own. And we have so many different moving pieces, so we keep it simple to the point, but still that the kids who are going on the float are going to have a good time. A lot of times kids don't care if the float is, if they got to just drive on the fire truck, it's probably enough. But we try to keep it simple. So that's the theme we're going with. So I was looking up music and everything, but I'm trying to think. I was thinking, I think Top Gun came out during
Yeah,
that time too.
sure.
Yes,
I
it
was
did.
like, go
1986.
like Danger
Yeah.
Zone or something like that. But yeah, I'm not sure. I think I'm looking forward to seeing what I know some of the groups that participate each year, and I'm sure even some of the dance routines, I'm sure are going to highlight that.
For sure. And how about a memory from previous parades that kind of sticks with you? That's something could be the funniest or the most chaotic or most heartwarming. I love what you said about going from the binder to the Google Doc. That just tells you how long the parade's been going on. But how about personally, with just a personal parade memory for you?
Yeah, I think it's involvement of the families. Not just mine. Yes, mine. My kids have grown up around the firehouse. They're now 11, almost 12, and then a 14-year-old. So two kids. And then you see the transition from all these families. So the guys that had when I joined, those 14 and 15-year-olds, and now those kids are off in college or they have families of their own too. So it's always fun getting them on the float. So we always do prior to the parade, we have them show up at the firehouse. We have pizza, soda for the kids. They get on the float. We drive around, and that's always just fun. That part of being like parked on Bellevue, waiting because we stage just like everyone else. The kids on the floats having fun, screaming. And for my own kids, they grew up sitting with my wife like on the float in their arms and like baby carriers to now they don't actually want to sit on the float. They want to hand out candy canes and run alongside or do something like they want to be
Yeah.
more involved. So
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I think for me, I see it as like that kind of transition among generations and families. So I think that's really the best part of that. So we see kids that were junior firefighters or they were not even we have and then now they're active members. So they grew up around the firehouse. So it's just a great community event. I know that we also enjoy those that decorate and make party atmosphere along Bellevue. I think something
It's
that
always fun.
it's I don't know. I don't know. I've been here for since 2009, so not I didn't grow up here, so I don't know. But I think we really want to make that a highlight. So I think next year we're hoping to maybe really feature something around that. So try to really pump up that, and we do best decorated business. So maybe we should also do a best decorated home, or come up with different categories. Like so, it's not just who has the most lights
Right.
or try to make it so that we pull in the community. So I think that's really it. It's a
Yeah.
community event. It's not the only community event. We know there's so many, but that's what makes Hammonton kind of special.
What makes that route so special, like you said, is that you're coming through a neighborhood, you're coming through these homes, and you've got and then into the downtown, which your parade is the only parade that does that. And I think it's great to see the community get involved so closely with with Fireman's Christmas Parade. It's great.
What could be fun is to march up Bellevue and figure out how many homes have fences by Master Wire, one of our show sponsors.
Yes, I suppose you could. And if you don't have one, then for more than 40 years, Master Buyer Manufacturing Fence Company has been providing the South Jersey and tri-state area with residential and commercial fence supplies and services. So whether you're looking for quality products to do it yourself or are in need of a trustworthy fencing company to install your fence, they've got you covered. Master Wire Manufacturing Fence Company provides the highest quality products and customer service to each and every person who walks through their doors or gives them a call. Contact Master Wire at 609 567 1616 or visit their website at masterwirefence.net.
Joe, I think the one thing you really can control is Mother Nature and the weather. What happens?
So we do have a rain date. We did not always have a rain date, or we haven't been consistent with it. So our rain date is the Sunday, but we also know that's not ideal. So because while you always lose people when there's a rain date. So we really do watch the weather. Yes, rain is tough, of course. Wind, we've had storms. So we really try to make the call if we really need to cancel? Do we think we can get a window of time? Because we know we'll lose folks if it moves to Sunday, the rain date, but we also know if the weather's not great, we'll lose folks because they're not going to bring their kids out or we have animals that come out. We have the state police mounted units. So there's different groups. So I think that's one aspect. And the other aspect with weather is it could be cold. We were at the Halloween parade, and I'm like, oh, see, like Halloween parade it's a nice time of year. It's that fall. You're not dealing
Yeah.
with the Christmas parade. You're battling. It could be very cold out, and it's also hard. Like even with I feel decorate props and costumes for people to wear on these floats. You can't even figure out, oh, we're going to buy a festive military shirt for, say, G.I. Joe. They're probably going to wear layers of jackets. So, yeah,
Yeah,
we
you
always
feel bad for the dancers because they have to be cold.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So we keep an eye on the weather. I think what's key is we have a rain date because people always ask. And then, because we have canceled, I don't know if we've canceled, but we've had to move it because of the rain. So I think it's important to just plan ahead and we monitor it. We work with the police department, public works to make sure that it's going to be a safe event.
Yeah.
Now, what else is going on with the fire department or fire company number two that people may not know is happening?
We keep busy. We are right around 500, I think, in last time I was at the station doing the calls, right around the mid 500s for the calls as of now.
For both
Well,
companies?
yeah, so both companies for the
Okay.
Okay.
department. So we'll probably be over 6 by the time the year's over, especially if we get some crazy winter weather in December. But yeah, we try to stay busy. Right now, this time of year, each company probably does a lot of variety of like family focused events. So company 2 has done a members breakfast that we do to bring the families together. We also have our annual elections that occur in that November December timeframe for both the company level officers as well as the department level officers. And then we're doing what we always do. So, Hammonton, I always say this, we're just very fortunate. We're not perfect. We feel the struggles of volunteerism just like everyone in every organization and community groups, but we're fortunate that we can keep on doing the job we're doing, whether that involves some members stepping up a little bit more to pick up the slack. But we respond to all those calls. We do a good job, and both fire companies over the last couple of years, we've been getting along well with each other when we're on calls. There's never issues. The department, while we are two fire companies, the department brings us together as one. So when the siren goes off, when the pagers go off, we respond and we work together. So if
Good.
company 1 has a, say, captain on the scene and they're there first, we all listen to that captain until a chief shows up. So we keep this very organized and we do get along. We had a summer picnic. We do in January, we'll have our department installation of officers dinner. That is a department event that we have all the members show up to. We really just try to balance spending time with our families while also responding to calls. I think we had 2 calls today, so it keeps it busy.
Do you guys literally still have pagers? Like 1980s pagers?
There, no, so yes, so we there's a lot of alerting
Keeping
capabilities.
keeping with the theme, we got the pagers. It's perfect for the '80s theme.
Yes, so we have our sirens. We have the siren on company 2 that goes off,
Mhm.
which is actually down because we had a lightning strike. So we're
Oh,
Okay.
working through
Oh,
insurance.
Back to the Future.
it just keeps on coming.
Yeah. So we have a siren that goes off, which was the original alerting, but it does help us because we do hear, like, I could be in my yard and hear the siren go off the way the
mhm.
wind, it gets you. And then we do have pagers. So they have evolved a little bit, but they are essentially just they alert and they have a voice come over. So it's not like a pager that's just numeric, it tells us the call. And then we do have cell phone alerting as well. So we have entered the future. We are here.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, cell phones are not perfect. You can be in a dead spot in town. You could be in your basement. It's not always great. And then that's also relies on more modern type of technology. So a server could be down. So we like to have that backup plan. So we use all of that. But we get alerted. And when we get alerted, the whole department gets alerted. The town is not divided up into sections or anything like
Yeah.
Okay.
that.
Right.
Joe, if someone wants to volunteer, what's the process? And are you guys recruiting right now?
Yeah, let's see. So if you want it, there's an application that can be picked up by town hall, or you could email either fire company as well. We can give you the application. I think it might be on the website for the town under fire department. So you fill out a brief application and then you would drop it off either at town hall or you can drop it off at an individual fire company. So the way it works is you apply to a fire company, so on the application, it will say, would you like to join one or two? If you don't know, then the chief will help you. Where do you live? That's usually a factor. And then the company would bring you in for an interview. They would do a background check, and then you would go before. So the company submits the name of the applicant to the town council, and then they bring them on. So you can be a fire company member, but not a department member. But if you're not a department member, you're not able to actually go on calls, go on the trucks, because those are department, town owned apparatus, insurance, things like that.
Mm.
They're always looking for members. Both fire companies constantly recruit. We the town, we typically have a 40-member cap on each fire company, so that allows us to make sure we're not growing too big with maybe members that aren't as active. So we don't want to just have the numbers; we want to have active members. So each fire company allows for 40 members, active members. So you could be a social member, you could be retired, and still be part of the fire company, but on the rolls for the department, we have 40. So that number changes all the time because as quickly as we're up to 40, someone moves away, someone realizes this isn't for them. We have many members that join and then, oh, I think I want to do this. And then they decide, no, not my style, not my thing. So we encourage anyone in the community that's interested, fill out an application, or you don't even have to fill out the application. You could come by one of the stations and just say, let's talk. And that might be a better first step so you can understand, because a lot of folks don't realize what's involved. It's
Right.
not like you sign up and you get to ride the fire truck, make noise going downtown, and that's it. There's a lot of training involved and a lot of commitment.
Yeah, you got to be ready to answer letters and help answer letters from Santa. That's got to be
For
part of it.
example,
Yeah,
great
absolutely.
example.
Yeah.
We just want to know, does Santa have to get his chimney entry clearance renewed with the local fire department every year, or does he have to go to town hall? How does he do that? Because we're just really curious. How is he coming down the chimney, especially if there's a fire? We want to know how you guys allow for that.
Yeah, he has to come up, he fills out an application. We'll fill
Bureaucracy, man, it gets
Yeah, I
everywhere.
know. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, we have an application for everything. Yeah, and then we'll see if he's able to go down those chimneys. But we do appreciate him coming to Hammonton. I think he treats Hammonton very well. He's always showing up.
I'm really surprised that you guys make him jump through all those hoops. He's from the North Pole, and if I'm not mistaken, he's the sovereign there. So he has diplomatic immunity, so he shouldn't have to jump through all these hoops.
It's Hamilton, Joe.
Yeah.
I
There's,
know. I'm
we have
You're
our
right.
own
just
rules.
saying. That's okay.
I want to thank Joe Lizza for joining us today and sharing everything that's going on with the Hamilton Fire Department and Hamilton Fire Company Number Two. We can't wait for the Christmas parade. It's always such a special time. And who knows, maybe we'll send in our own letters to Santa. We just want to take a quick break and thank our show sponsor, Demeglio Septic and Quality Sanitation.
Yes, we do. Because Demiglio Septic and Quality Sanitation are here for a variety of services, including septic pump out, grease trap service, high pressure jetting, portable toilets, and more. Call 609 561 3597 or go to demiglioseptic.com for Demiglio Septic, or call 609 561 4666 for quality sanitation. Experience the Demiglio difference, a promise of superior service, quality, and reliability.
That was one heck of an interview. That was a lot of fun, guys.
It's
I
great.
Oh,
loved
yeah.
having Joe on the show.
Yeah. And I, for one, was fascinated to learn about the deputization process for the company members with the North Pole, because I'd always been curious about that.
You want me to get in on that deal?
I got a
Are you-
lot going on.
Yeah.
I'd rather just cheer from the sidelines. Yeah.
I think it's great that it's done the way it's done. And I think it brings joy into a lot of people's lives during the Christmas season for sure.
Yeah.
I think what's bringing me joy is knowing that the Wanamaker Light Show has not gone away. I think when we first started this podcast, one of the things we talked about early on was that the Macy's in Center City, Philadelphia was closing in the old
Hmm.
Wanamakers. And we're all like, what's going to happen to the light show, the Oregon? But it's going to be here for this season. Gabe, what are the details?
You talk about traditions like the Christmas parade or the letters to Santa and different things that the fire department in Hamilton does. Independent fire company number two, especially with the letters. Obviously, the Wanamaker light show in Dickens Village being brought back for the time being for this season for 2025 is another tradition that people look forward to all year long. So listen, all right, Philly fans, it's one of the biggest holiday traditions in the region is officially back. the Wanamaker Light Show and Dickens Village have returned for the 2025 holiday season. Now, a quick heads up, because of building capacity, if you're visiting during peak times, you may hit a wait up to 30 minutes before you can get into the grand court. So plan ahead, pack your patience, and enjoy the magic when you get inside. This year, they're also asking the community to help preserve the tradition through the Keep the Lights Shining fundraising campaign. So if the show is part of your holiday memories, consider giving them a little support. If you've never been, the Wanamaker Light Show, presented by Pico, is half a century of Philly holiday history. More than 100,000 LED lights bring snowflakes, ballerinas, and reindeer to life across a 4-story velvet curtain, all set to the legendary Wanamaker Grand Organ. The show runs every hour on the half hour, starting at 12:30 p.m., with select shows featuring the organ performed live, especially on Sundays. Plus, there are additional organ concerts at about 12:45 p.m. and 4:45 p.m. The 12:45 p.m. show will be on Christmas Eve only. And upstairs, the magic continues with the Dickens Village, a 6,000 square foot walkthrough of A Christmas Carol with 26 scenes straight out of 1840s London. It's free, but you do need time tickets, which become available 5 days ahead, starting November 24th. Now, the schedule for that is from now to December 11th, Wednesday through Sunday, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Live organ shows 12:30, 1:30, 4:30, and 5:30. December 12th to December 23rd. Open daily 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Live organ shows 12:30, 1:30, 4:30, 5:30, and 6:30. And on Christmas Eve, December 24th, the hours will be 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. with live organ at 12:30 and 1:30. So if you're looking for a classic holiday day trip, this one is hard to beat. Lights, history, organ music, Dickens Village, and a whole lot of Philly charm. And it's been there for decades. And I love the fact that the Wanamaker name has been brought back because of the fact that now it's the Wanamaker building that it's in, and it's no longer a Macy's. And it just
So
adds
true.
a certain
Mm-hmm.
nostalgia to the whole thing. And I said it will be back this year, but I've heard reports that said that due to renovations on the building ongoing, it may not be back until, I believe, 2028. So it's
Oh,
a good
wow.
year to get back into this tradition, because it will be guys gone for a couple more years after that.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
due to
it's,
published reports and other reports that I've seen that talked about renovations to the building as being the reason why.
which it makes sense. It's an old building. Like Wanamaker was advertising in the South Jersey Republican in the 1880s. So that building's been there a while.
Yeah, it's really one of the largest and most famous, now former, department stores in the country.
And was one of the first, if I'm not mistaken. Not maybe
That's
not
right.
the, but it was one of the first.
Yes.
I just love it. I love the show. I love its old school animation, if you will. Like it's on that curtain. It's just really cool to be there. I hope I get to make it over there this winter season. Gabe will have to take a little ride up, or maybe I'll walk over on my lunch break one time from work, but could be interesting.
Yeah, I haven't seen that since I was a kid, I don't think. It's been a long time since I
It
can
looks
still picture it, but
it
it's been a
looks
long time.
exactly the same,
I'm
but
sure.
you may not have the same voiceover because they changed it to Julie Andrews from John Facenda. So you might
Right.
have remembered the John Facenda who did, obviously he was a local broadcaster, but also became famous for his voiceovers on NFL films.
The
Hmm.
autumn wind is a raider.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Good of you to know that.
That's I know very little about it other than that. Gabe, it is not just busy in Philadelphia the holiday season, but I believe our community calendar is jam packed with events.
It is, and it's the Rocco's Townhouse community calendar. Gina, you and I had a lovely dinner there with my brother Frank Father Frank, just this past weekend. And Rocco's Townhouse prides themselves on being a spot where everyone can meet and eat delicious appetizers, entrees, burgers, and more, along with a full bar and plenty of craft beers on tap. Remember, everyone meets at the Townhouse, 21 North 3rd Street in Hammonton. Call them at 609 561 9384 or visit roccostownhouse.com. And now, the Rocco's Townhouse community calendar. Let's take a look at what's happening around town because December is loaded. First up, Main Street Hammonton's downtown Hammonton tree lighting. It's happening on Saturday, December 6th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Central Avenue. The rain date is the 7th. You'll get holiday music, live performances, sing alongs, games, activities, and more. Don't be fashionably late because Santa rolls in at 7 p.m. sharp. Next up is the third annual Shoreline Vintage Holiday Market in Richland. It's also December 6th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tons of vendors with vintage holiday decor, antiques, crafts, candles, baked goods, all the good festive stuff. Feel free to it's free to get in. And honestly, you're probably going to find something you didn't know you needed. Then on to Thursday, December 11th, the Mother Cabrini Lodge Shop Like a Mother vendor night, happening from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Masonic Lodge. It's a celebration of local, female owned businesses, perfect for that last minute holiday shopping. And if you need more motivation, they've got a raffle for a $1,000 Amazon gift card. So there's that. And finally, Broadway Theater of Pittman is staging Irving Berlin's White Christmas. Shows start Friday, December 12th and run through December 21st. If you're looking for something festive to do with friends, family, or a date night, this one's an easy win. And that's your Rocco's Townhouse community calendar, keeping our community connected all season and all year long. More information about all events can be found online. There you go, guys. A lot going on.
Yeah,
Sure
there
is.
is. Yeah.
I love White Christmas, so maybe a ride up to Pittman is not a bad idea. You know what I mean? Could be fun.
And the Broadway is a beautiful theater.
Fair enough. True.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful theater.
If I go, I'm definitely going to be wearing my Oddcast gear.
Absolutely, you should. And before you go, if you're going to have a hot beverage, you can use one of our mugs right here. See? And if you go, although I don't necessarily know that you should be wearing a t-shirt to a night at the theater, to each his own. It's entirely up to you. If you want to wear it afterwards, because we got t-shirts, we've got hats, take them off when you go in the theater. We got tumblers,
Nothing more rude
magnets.
than that.
What's that?
Nothing more rude than that.
I
Right.
agree. You go inside, you take off your hat. And you can find all of this and more at jersey-oddcast.printify.me.
Thank you. Okay, so I think we should bring back Joe, Lizza, for our odd poll. What do you guys think?
Good
I
idea.
agree.
Okay, since we have you and we're recording this a little bit ahead of what everyone's anticipating could be the first snowstorm of the year, we want you to participate in our odd poll question of the week. And the question is, what is the real sign a big snowstorm is coming? Is it A, everyone is buying all the bread and milk, let's make French toast? The forecast suddenly adjusts from 2 inches to 14. Maybe your dog is refusing to go outside, or you have that one neighbor, or maybe it's you, who has the snowblower and you start doing those snowblower stretches like, okay, I'm ready for the big storm. What tells you that a snowstorm is really coming?
Yeah, I think it's running. I think it's the grocery store runs.
Yeah. Yeah.
We know those have been not always reliable. I think folks tend to, you hope, try to get as much good information as they can from various sources to be accurate. But yeah, I think it's when people start to get worried and you walk into ShopRite or you walk into a grocery store and all of a sudden there's nothing on the shelves. So
How about
That's
for
it.
you, Gabe?
I'd have to say the snowblower thing. I've seen my neighbors out there ready to go with the apparatus of their own, with that big blower. They're ready. And they look forward to it. That's something you can only test that baby out so much. You need to have it out on the real deal. So I would say the snowblower.
Joe Bernato?
I would go with a modified snowblower answer. I don't like snowblowers. You're going to go out there, you're going to shovel. That's when the shovel and the salt is on the porch and ready to go. Just nice old fetch. Just muscle. Just get ready to go and shovel. You've got it all ready to go. That's when you know that snow is coming. The shovel's propped up just over the salt bucket, and you're just sitting there and waiting for the snow to come down.
No, see, for me, it's like when the forecasters go, we have a new model in. We're going to not use the European model. We're going to go with whatever model. And we're now forecasting 14 inches. I'm like, oh no, the snow apocalypse is happening. And that for me is,
There you go.
yeah, awesome. Okay, so we don't know what the weather's going to be. We don't know how much snow we're getting this winter, but we do know that when we need to get rid of items, whether it's for our home or business, there's only one place I need to call when I need a dumpster.
Yes, looking for fast, reliable dumpster service? Call United Roll-Off Service and Recycling LLC, family owned by the Grasso family and proudly serving South Jersey since 1999. Three generations strong, United Roll-Off is your local solution for household cleanouts, construction debris, concrete, and yard waste, with 11, 20, and 30-yard dumpsters ready when you need them. Serving Hammonton and all of Atlantic, Burlington, Camden, Cumberland, and Gloucester counties, they've got the size, service, and local touch you can trust. Visit them at 735 Wiltsey's Mill Road, Hammonton, or call 609-561-8287 to get started today. United Roll Off, local, loyal, and ready to haul.
We've been hearing a lot about how much snow we're going to get this winter, and it says it's going to be tough. And so I was like, let me look up some information about some of the worst storms in New Jersey history, and worst being the most snow. So the most one-day snow total in New Jersey was in Sussex County on January 26, 1905, and January 23rd, 2016, with 30 inches.
Wow.
Then in Union County in 2010, 29.8. 1996 in Essex County, 29.5. And then it goes all the way down. The other one is 1978, February 7th, 26 inches. So 26 to 30 inches. Those are the most snow totals that New Jersey has seen in one day. And Stacker put together a bunch of information from the National Centers for Environmental Information. And that's your Oddcast Odd Fact, proving once again that in New Jersey, if it's gonna snow, it's gonna snow.
Oh yeah,
I
that's a
can't
lot of snow.
even I can't even imagine that much snow in a single day. I remember the blizzard of 96, and we had maybe 24 to 28 inches over 2 or 3 days. Okay. But that's just like the sky belching snow at you.
Yeah,
Like you
a
walk
lot of snow.
outside to get the mail, you got an inch of snow on your head. That's horrible.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
in '09 we had a couple blizzards that were pretty heavy. I remember taking a snowmobile ride and in the streets of Hammonton, that kind of snow, heavy. And 96 was a big one for sure.
I remember in 2003, it was February of '03. I was living in Lindenwold, and where I was living, we got, I want to say, 2 feet of snow overnight. And I had just started at Borgata at the time, and I had to call out because there was no way I could possibly.
Safely get there.
Yeah, and they're like, "What are you talking about? We got rain." I'm like, "You may have gotten rain, but a half hour away, I've got 2 feet of snow." Go look on the television because it was 2003. You couldn't exactly send a picture at the time, but I remember digging my Jeep out for hours that day. But even that wasn't like all at once.
Do you remember the one time, Gabe, that we got the photo from those two women who sent us in a snow day photo? They went out to their patio
Yep.
furniture or beach furniture, laid out in bikinis in loungers, and like in the snow, like they were like at the beach. It was hysterical photo
We
because
used
then
it.
yeah, you said I think we might even put it on the front page. But if you like, they sent us like the wider shot photo also. They had their boots on, their coats were right there, but just for the shot, I think it was early. I don't think you could say it, but they were doing it for the gram.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pre-Graham, but
Yeah,
it was well a good thought. They were pushing summer for sure.
Yeah.
definitely committed to the bit. Yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Joe, what is the weather going to be for like the rest of the week?
Since you asked, it sounds like it is time for the Oddcast forecast according to the app on my smartphone and sponsored by Ben Castone Landscaping. Call Ben Castone for all your landscaping needs at 609 561 3452. They're here to keep your yard looking great no matter what the season. And this year, Ben Castone Landscaping is celebrating its 25th anniversary. Ben Castone thanks his customers, family, and friends for all their support and is looking forward to many more years of service. And even though the calendar may seem to indicate otherwise, we are in winter and the temperatures reflect that. Wednesday, we're looking at mostly sunny, clouding up a little bit in the evening, a high of 42 and a low of 29. Thursday, intervals of clouds and sun, high of 45, a low of 19. And then Friday, uh, sun changing the clouds and changing to a wintry mix later on, a high of 34 and a low of 29. So I said it last week and I'll say it again. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
For sure.
Oh boy. I hope we
Yeah,
have good weather for the tree lighting this weekend.
I agree. I agree. Bundle up. It's December. It's going to be cold.
And Joe, where can people find us if they don't already know?
The internet. I assume you want more specifics.
Well, we
Okay.
have a new
Well,
channel.
We
let's hear
do.
it.
Yes, we
Let's hear
do.
it.
We are now on TikTok. Yeah, you can find us there. If you want more information or sponsorship opportunities, email us at jerseyoddcast@gmail.com. Call us at 609 444 6178 if you want to have a chat. You can listen to us on YouTube or your favorite podcasting service, Podbean, iHeart, or Apple Podcast, and so forth. Visit us on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, and again, now on TikTok. And visit our website, jerseyoddcast.com, for all of that and more.
Thank you, everyone, for a great week. Thank you so much to Joe Lizza for joining us. That was a great interview. We appreciate your time.
Yes, thanks, Joe.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
And we'll see everybody next week.
Take care.